everybody. Come on in. Come on in. Welcome back to another Let's Talk with Maggie and Lucy. I am Maggie, your substitute teacher. You may know me from my cooking channel. I make food and femininity content. Lucy and I are my bestie and court-appointed chaperone. Okay, I'm kidding. Not really. Lucy and I are the proud founders of the Finishing School of the Modern Woman. We teach ladies all kind of life skills about femininity, elegance, and etiquette. We actually just wrapped up week 2 of our wife lessons class. We talked about young wives and how to be the best wife for your man. We like to come and give back to the community twice a week and share our opinion as older women hoping to teach the young from our own lived experience. Lucy, please introduce yourself, and I have a video for us today.
I'm excited for that video because I haven't seen it at all. Hi, I'm Lucy. Hi, Maggie. Hi, everyone. So yes, I have a small channel that generally it focuses on femininity, elegance, and things that impact women over a certain age. But this time, Maggie's the one sharing this. It looks like it's a fascinating video. So I'm looking forward to react to it because I haven't seen it yet.
All right, y'all. So this came up in my feed. Shout out to the algorithm. This is a TikTok video. I put the link in the description. It's actually a playlist, kind of like Risa Tisa style, but we're not going to do the whole thing. All right. So on this one, I just have 2 videos and an article that I want to share with you all. But apparently last month, there was a woman either in Michigan or California. Maybe she lives in California and the wedding was supposed to be in Michigan, where her fiancé left her at the altar. And what she did afterwards has now gone mega viral, over 10 million views. And so I was watching it out of order, trying to put the pieces together. But now I think I have the story, and I want to share with you all a couple of the videos in the article, and then we will give you our perspective. Now, here are your disclaimers. I already said the original video is linked in the description. If you want to watch it without our commentary, feel free. And then also, this message is for the women that want a traditional relationship with a masculine man. Lucy and I both come from traditional backgrounds. We believe in boys and girls, man and woman, husband and wife, mom and dad, in that order. All right. So if you want to do something else, that's totally fine. Over here, you might not be happy. So I'm going to share my screen and mute myself. The first video I'm going to play, I think it's the first one from the playlist. So this is her introducing herself and what happened. I always love to know what you all think. So please put your comments in the chat and we'll bring you into the conversation, and then we will share our impressions as well.
My fiance just, and she's so beautiful. My name's Rachel Siegel, and my fiance just left me at the altar. And she's so beautiful.
Can I unmute?
You're still muted.
There we go. Sorry, y'all. I couldn't get off of mute. Were you all able to hear that? Hopefully you were able to hear that. Okay. So I would love to know what you all think. So this woman has just gotten left at the altar. She's in a wedding gown. She's holding a seltzer. And did you notice that as soon as she says, "I'm Rachel Siegel and I just got left at the altar," she throws her hands up almost like it's a victory pose. And she's basically almost celebrating the fact that this, in my opinion, tragedy has happened. And then did you hear her echo chamber, her cheering squad saying, "And she's so beautiful." Now, I have to say this. I can't even imagine what that would feel like. And I guess there's perspective where make lemonade out of lemons, but there's a very thin line between trying to make the most out of a bad situation and almost dismissing that something very bad has happened here. And I remember asking my man, what would it take for a man to call off a wedding at the last minute? And he basically said, he told you, he warned you, and you did it anyway, whatever that is, too many times. And he just said, I'm not doing it. So for me, instead of being introspective, how did we get here? We're celebrating and everybody's saying how beautiful she looks, but we're completely avoiding the elephant in the room. What is your first impression, Lucy?
It's a weird response to a kind of like a traumatic experience. It's very hard to relate to somebody making it, coping in a celebratory way when generally normal, I think standard people would shut it all down. I don't want to hear anybody. I don't want to talk to anybody. You would go into your corner to kind of regroup. You do not make a celebration, a video to go viral to millions of people to see the kind of response that you get. To me, I bet you that there were signs that whoever she was going to marry to, they were there. And it makes me think sometimes with these like viral videos, is this really true? Was she even in a relationship? Is she making it up? That's what and this little bit that she brought in, those are the thoughts that come in with that behavior.
Put a pin in that. Lucy always sees more than what meets the eye. Let me know if the audio is okay, you all. I know Jurgen said it was dropping out a little bit. I see everybody coming in. Hello, thank you all so much for being here. I am going to play the next video. And I love what Lucy just said. How would you respond if this happened to you? I would probably send out a family member to thank everybody, and I would probably just be crying in the corner somewhere, devastated. I don't know if you all noticed, but that video has 41 million views. And remember, we've talked about this before in our series, podcast also available on YouTube podcast, about how women go to the internet, these modern women who go to either celebrate their conquests or have their crying fits. Ladies, remember, the internet is forever. And I always think, not just in the moment, but what are other men seeing and thinking about when you take something that is so serious? It takes a man a long time to get to that point. Like Lucy said, was he even there? And then for a man to say, you know what, and you don't even address that at all. It's time to have a party. Emphatically empathetic says, I think she knew she was in a bad relationship. Put another pin in that. All right, I'm going to go to the second video. So again, this is a playlist on TikTok. I think there's 8 videos. She's still talking about life after, but I want you all to see the progression. So at that point, she had realized that her fiance was not showing up. So I'm going to play the next video. There's some music in here. It's about 3 minutes long. So I'm just going to mute myself and let it play out. And I want you all to observe. I want to know your feedback. And then I'm going to tell you what I noticed.
That in the end, no one was coming to save me, so I just prayed. And I keep praying and praying and praying. If it's meant to be, it never will be. So I'm in bed, it's holding my breath. we are made. Yeah, so let him there, so let him.
All right, it stopped playing for me, so I think you all have seen enough. Did you all notice as she is now with her gown on, approaching the wedding party or guests, how she is taking a bow like she has accomplished something? Did you notice how she is twirling around in her gown? Look at me. Did you notice how she is smiling for now, acting like this is wonderful? If you notice the comments on there, people are asking, how is she smiling when this has got to be probably the worst day of her life? And her response was, well, the show must go on. I don't know if you all can see that. Can someone explain how she can smile and look like it's the happiest day of her life? And she says, the show must go on. The show must go on. Haven't we had this conversation, ladies, about how men look at marriage and how women want the party, the day, the dress, the guests, everything? Lucy, what would you say?
Again, the behavior just doesn't match the event. I'm thinking that a good friend would have said, don't do this. I don't think it's a good idea. And maybe she did have somebody tell her that, but she did what she wanted to do, however she wanted to do it. So right there, you're seeing somebody that is unable to take somebody else's perspective or advice and put it into place. She did what she wanted to do, and she didn't care about making a fool of herself. Because if you see the people that are that she's going to, that are watching, most of the people are going, what is going on here? This is not normal.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see what you all are saying in the chat. Escape the Rat Race is saying, a friend told me that her good friend from college got left at the altar twice by the same man 2 years apart. There are no words. I can't even imagine. Once is enough. And ladies, for me, the takeaway is, how are we not seeing the bigger picture? How are we so wrapped up in our own world and in our own queen of the day moment that we don't realize something horrible just happened? Because like I tell you, ladies, men don't look at their interactions with us just for the moment. They are evaluating all the time. Can I live with this for the next 20 years, 30 years, 50 years? And I don't know this woman. I wish her all the best. I found out later, I did some research, she's 34. But when you look at this is not a young bride. So if this is her first marriage, no kids, and the man that you thought was going to be with you forever says no, and you're celebrating it, what does that say about what you really think about marriage, about commitment? Is it something sacred to you, or was it just a day to have fun? I love that Lucy called out, look at the people around her. I am going to try and play the video again on mute, but I want you to look at the women. Watch the women as she's coming down to where the wedding was supposed to be. The women are her echo chamber, are her sisterhood, are cheering her on. They all have their fists up in the air like, yeah, girl, you don't need him. You heard one say, she's beautiful. Watch the women and compare it to the men. Watch the men in this wedding area, their reaction. All right, let's see if we can go back in.
But I always knew that in the end, no one was coming to save me, so I just prayed. And I keep praying and praying and praying. It's meant to be, and it will be. So I'm letting Always it comes back to me. Oh, it's meant to be. We will be. Yeah. So I'm there, torn in my life. But I always knew.
All right, hopefully you all were able to see that. Did you notice how the women were celebrating, cheering her on? Did you notice how the men were just stoic, putting their hands in their pockets, kind of emotionless, reading the room like, is anybody going to act like nothing just happened? I thought it was fascinating. And so my point here, ladies, is number one, the way we go to social media to just share all the details of our lives for the world to see, instead of taking that moment of introspection and saying, how did I get here? And then notice how the men, and I'll always say, because the men are the ones who propose, they look at relationships really differently. The men are standing there like something is definitely wrong here. They see it. But the women that we surround ourselves with, you're beautiful. Go, girl. You don't need him. You can do bad all by yourself. Wait until you see the follow-up video. But I wanted you all to notice the difference between how the women responded to her. She calls it her unwedding day crashing out, and the men responding. What did you notice, Lucy?
And I think that also is a good point, because in our group of friends, it's always good to have that one friend that says no to something that everybody else is saying yes. There's a reason that that person is saying, maybe you shouldn't do that. Maybe we should take a different, approach. That person is probably the best friend in that group, instead of those yes people, or yeah, you go, girl, go ahead, woman power, you got it. Again, it's a group of people that will lead you into the wrong decisions, instead of listening to that friend that says, yeah, no, I'm not going to be part of this. Have fun.
All right. Such a good point. I want to see what you all are saying in the chat, but it's so true. Ladies, sometimes the truth hurts, but sometimes the truth is necessary. This is a woman that I think needed someone to pull her aside and say, don't do this. But I wonder if she would have listened. All right. So you all are coming in and saying hello. Thank you all so much for being here. We appreciate it. Gillis is saying this reaction is indeed odd for the circumstances. Yes, I'd love to know, how would you all respond if you were left at the altar? Likely trying to overcome the heartache and mask the pain. Are you noticing the difference, right? You noticed how the men were just like statues, because men take marriage and commitment seriously. That's why it takes them so long to get to that point. So all the men in the room, except for, I think that was her brother, that was arm in arm with her until she decided to take the stage and do a turn for everyone to see. But men look at that commitment and that marriage until death very seriously. She's just kind of like, oh, well, everybody's here. Let's make a party out of it. So I just wanted to bring this to you all's attention so you can see sometimes how unserious, if that's a word, we show up as. If you can see how flippant we are about a commitment, how we're just kind of like, well, it's my day, it's my party, I can cry if I want to. Jürgen is here. He is not a fan of modern women, and we know exactly how you feel. Yes, understood. Emphatically empathetic says, too often women are looking at the ceremony and not the whole commitment. Too often modern women want to be the boss bee in charge and don't know how to be a wife. Couldn't have said it better. This is what we're talking about in the Wife Lessons class. We're really drilling down to the women, how to determine if a man is a husband or just a man. Doesn't make him a bad person, but husbands move differently. Husbands have qualities that you need to be looking out for. Ladies, the opposite is the truth for us. Not all women are wives. And the more and more I talk to women, I'm able to see now how men make the distinction. Oh yeah, that's a wife right there. Oh yeah, she's not a wife. She's just here for fun. So it's very important. And I wonder if this woman really prioritized relationship, would she be celebrating being left at the altar? Let's see what else y'all are saying. The condemned is cringing. Yeah, it is hard to see. I would love to know, what was your first reaction to this? When I saw it, I was kind of like confused because I saw this woman happy with a dress on. Then when I started looking more into it, I'm like, this is a tragedy. And she's twirling around like it's the best day ever. DB is saying there's something really wrong with her. Well, I'm not a doctor, but I just wanted to use this as a case study, ladies, so we can see sometimes how we show up. And the condemned says the man knew that this was a bad look. Put a pin in that. There's more to come. Absolutely. Emphatically empathetic says, I truly believe in this situation there were many signs to let her know this wasn't going to work, and him not showing up was a bullet dodged for the both of them. Ladies, how many times have we gotten information? Have we gotten feedback? Have we been told, I don't like that? Have we been asked to change some behavior? We just talked about this in the wife lessons, and I told the ladies, it takes a man a while before he even says something. So we need to be self-aware enough to fix those things that are not helping our relationship. If he continues to say it and you continue to blow him off and act like what you want is more important, he will eventually stop talking. And then he will eventually stop showing up. And it may be something as severe as this. Emphatically empathetic says, no woman who truly has a heart on getting married and being a wife would be that ecstatic at such a shocking situation. Absolutely. All right, everybody saying hello. Thank you all so much for being here. So we have seen the first video where she was announcing to the world, I am Rachel Siegel, and my fiance just left me at the altar. And we saw the second video where she is basically like, you know what? I am queen for a day. I'm going to play the third and final video, and I would love to know what you all make of the day after. Kim K says, I would cry in my room. I definitely wouldn't be parading around. I'm embarrassed for her. And DB says, as a man, I'm devastated. I'm glad you all feel this, because I watched this and I felt very conflicted, and it wasn't even my day. What would you add, Lucy?
I want to see the next one.
Okay. Let's go in.
But I'm not anymore. It took me 2 days. The first day on October 5th, I, with my friends, and everything has just so much significance to me, but this was my dream ring. It was an heirloom diamond passed down from a grandparent. I took it off this hand and put it on this finger and put this ring here because it's like a phantom feeling, right? So that's how the first day went. And then the second day, I just still felt like I needed a little bit of that security and my identity. I couldn't have everything taken away from me so quick and fast. I needed time. But that second day, by the end of the night, I was able to take it off, and I gave it to my brother to have some space for a while I decide what happens next with it. And I am not an amputee, but I feel like it's similar to that feeling where they say, like, even though it's gone, it still feels like it's there. Like I never took it off, so I have an indentation where it was. And I find myself constantly trying to play with it out of habit. And I know I'll feel okay again one day. But for a time, it was my favorite thing I ever owned. It was the most beautiful thing I ever saw in my life. It was my dream to have that ring from that person. And I feel very empty and lost because it's so much more than a piece of jewelry. I don't know if anyone can understand or relate to that. But that was another step. But I'm not.
I think you're muted. Oh, I think we lost her. I'm not sure. I think this stream is acting very weird. I don't know if can you guys see me? Maybe it's me. Okay.
Sorry about that, y'all.
All right.
Okay, sorry about that. So hopefully you all were able to see that. So the unwedding day is now over, and the reality is sinking in. Again, instead of reflecting, she's telling this whole story on TikTok, responding to people. Someone said, "But you're still wearing the ring." Now, the day before, she's celebrating victory march, victory lap, taking vows, everything's great. Now everybody has gone home, the venue is shut down, everything is over with, and you wake up to the horror that the man that you thought you were going to marry left you there to figure it out on your own. Or maybe you actually knew what was happening. But here's what stood out to me, you all. Did you notice that she said, "I really wanted that ring. I really liked that ring. It was a gift from passed down heirloom. It took me a few days to take off that ring." At no point has she said anything about the relationship. Has she said anything about the fiancé begging, pleading, going back, let's start over. Maybe we can, do this quietly. Nothing about trying to resolve the relationship. And I'm not going to play the whole playlist, but what you all will see if you watch the playlist, what she says is, "I really love that gown and that cape." And she was going to wear it. She wanted to have that moment. So you see where she's putting her priority. The relationship is coming last. All of the decorative things of that day seem to be more important to her. And now she's left to figure it out after he's gone and everyone else is gone. What would you add, Lucy?
Yes, I wrote the quote. "It was my dream to have that ring." She didn't say it was my dream to be a wife to him. It was my dream to spend, my old days together in front of our house and a porch, rocking back and forth, holding hands, drinking lemonade. It was never about the person that she was married. It was all about the look and what she could get. It was the ring. It was the wedding. It was the venue. And she keeps talking about keeping the ring. Usually in etiquette, you return the ring to the person and they can do whatever they want with it. At this point, I think that the guy wouldn't even care if the ring was returned, because he kind of, he let everything go, because it seems that she may have been a nightmare to be with.
I want to see what you all are saying in the chat, but shout out to etiquette since Lucy brought it up. Registration is open for the Finishing School of the Modern Woman. Classes begin in January. You can go to teachablemomentswithmaggie.com. But one of the things that we teach ladies is this etiquette on how to handle yourself. And the important thing is this, ladies, your true character shines through when you're not getting everything you want. Your true character shines through when you're being told no. We really get to see who you are when times are bad. And this is important to men. Anybody can get dressed up and sit at a nice restaurant and have fun and collect trinkets, and as long as everybody's turning up, I'm in a great mood. But if we need to cut back a little bit, if money is tight, if we can't go here, if I didn't get the promotion, if we have to have a simple holiday at home, we can't travel, whatever the situation is, if you become a petulant child, if you start to pout, if it has to be all about you, no man is going to want to hitch his wagon to that, because you're going to be miserable, because he's going to be working or think he's going to have to work every day just to keep a smile on your face. Nobody can keep you happy. Let's see what you all are saying in the chat. All right, I'm going to go back to where we left off. You all are in here. The Condemned is saying, yeah, reality is starting to, I went too far. Reality is starting to set in for her. Absolutely. Okay. Thank you for lurking and liking. We appreciate when you all watch, whether you're in the clouds or in the chat. Emphatically Empathetic says, I feel bad for the modern women, and I truly hope that we get back to traditional values as women. That's why Lucy and I are here. Almost 50 and almost 60, we believe the older women should teach the young. Not everybody's going to get it. I think it will get better. I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. But if you're here and you're listening and this is helpful, we're doing this for you. The Condemned says, we don't play about marriage. The words we share matter and have extremely important meaning to us. A lot of modern women are confused because they think men don't speak as much, that they don't have a lot to say. The opposite is true. They have important things to say, and they choose their words wisely. So for a man to ask for you to be his bride, he has contemplated you being the last person he sees when he closes his eyes. It is that serious to them, ladies. So when you're just like, oh, well, he didn't show up, let's just have a party, ride the trolley, pop open a beer, have a good time, your girlfriends are going to be like, yay, you go, girl. Then they're all going to go home to their own lives, and you're left crying on the internet. If you watch the rest of this playlist, you will see, in my opinion, she kind of devolves into bad behavior. She talks about how she had 2 outfits for that day, a dress and then an after dress. She wanted to wear both of them. She talks about how she went out and got tattooed after that, because there was one video where she said, I just wanted to have a day of making bad decisions. So her day of like recovering from this tragic thing was to just go, just go ahead and crash all the way out. What does that say about the character of this woman? Thank you all so much for being here. Let's see what else you all are saying. But now the Condemned says, yeah, reality is setting in for her. Emphatically Empathetic says, I believe modern women mistakes being a bride with being a wife. They are not the same thing. We have talked about this in the wife class. You are a bride on one day. You are a wife for life. And it is a calling. The men that I talk to will say that is how they evaluate us. Ladies, you have to be showing wife qualities before you are married. That's how the men know that you're genuine and you're not just putting on. Lucy says she needs to find a way to return the ring. Yes, absolutely. Shout out to the etiquette lessons. Jürgen said that ring was important to her, not so much the man. And I think it's 14 videos in that playlist. She very rarely talks about the man. Now she's getting a lot of media attention. The dress company reached out to her and wanted to make another dress for her to erase the memories from that day. She's getting flued out and getting different interviews. She's going to have her 15 minutes of fame. That will happen. This is the modern age that we live in. But a relationship from someone who really cares for her, instead of people who are just here for the 10 million, 40 million views, she doesn't have that. Next Level says modern women want things, and the man, unfortunately, is secondary. So ladies, you need to evaluate yourself. Do you want that man, or do you want what that man can give you? The men know, and they're watching how you respond. Thank you so much for the support. We appreciate it. Yeah, y'all, I was struggle streaming. I appreciate it. Living Out Loud says she is sad about the ring. No mention of him. And it's superficial. So ask yourself, ladies, have you shown these type of tendencies? Have you blown past the man to see what gifts you can get? Absolutely. Living Out Loud says he dodged a bullet. Hello, E. Capone. Everybody's doing well. All right. So that was the last video that I wanted to show you all. So I went down the rabbit hole and I started doing some research about this woman and her man, and I found an article. So I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to kind of skim through the article that kind of found out who the fiance was. And, you know, that's his private life. I don't really care about, not that I don't care, but I don't care so much about him. But I wanted to know, like, how did we get here? Ladies, you have to understand that men don't go from zero to it's over overnight. So if you try to play the victim and you try to act like I didn't know and I had no idea, you're lying to yourself. I asked my man about this. He said, this is a man who said, okay, I mean it. I'm not playing around. Whatever it was, and that's between the two of them, she didn't believe him. And she learned a very painful lesson. What would you add, Lucy?
I think that she is one of those that she wanted to pretend that she was going to have the best party, the best everything, but without looking at what was happening with the fiancé, what was happening with him. I guarantee you that he probably said, yeah, maybe we should think about this. Yeah, maybe we should hold off on this. Yeah, maybe marriage is not the thing for us right now. Yeah, maybe moving in together is not the thing to do right now. And she kept pushing it and pushing it. And maybe he was young that he didn't say, you know what, I'm out of here. He showed her the hard way at the point where, you know, he had already made up his mind that this was not going to happen. She made it happen, and he said, I'm out of here.
Lucy is so spot on. Y'all, she has a sixth sense. I'm telling you. All right. So forgive me for reading, but I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to kind of skim through this article because there's a section of this article that for me, I was like, aha, there it is. All right. So let me share my screen. And this is from the Daily Mail. Oh, I forgot to share. This is from the Daily Mail. So there's a lot of pop-ups on here, but I'm trying to get to the bottom of this story. All right. So forgive the ads and everything. Groom accused of leaving fiancée Rachel Siegel at the wedding altar in the viral TikTok video is unmasked. It was true love, or at least dance teacher. She's a dance teacher. Shout out to her. At least dance teacher Rachel thought it was. She and her boyfriend had been together through thick and thin for nearly 9 years. And now at last he proposed. Their bonds were so deep, they even had a joint bachelorette getaway in Las Vegas where they went to the Graceland Wedding Chapel. I think there's a picture in here of them. They were supposed to get married in Michigan at some Roman Catholic church, so on, so forth. So this is Rachel. My fiance just left me at the altar while holding a beer. Beautiful. All right, so here comes the part. But on the morning of October 5th, the very day he was due to make Rachel his bride, the groom, who the Daily Mail reveals, I'm going to leave him alone, got cold feet. He suddenly realized he wasn't ready for marriage after all. He called Rachel in the morning and tried to call it off. A friend said she kinda wanted to still go with it. She kinda wanted to still go with it. Now, Rachel, who's also 34, good and grown, has let the world know, thanks to a TikTok video of her in her wedding gown and a jewel-encrusted cape on the street with a can of hard seltzer in her hand, talking to the camera. 12-second clip has 41 million views. I want to just stop there for a moment and then go back in.
You're muted. You're muted.
Sorry, y'all. I wanted to take a moment, and did you all notice where he called her before the actual wedding day and said, I don't think we should do this. But who was stubborn and who said, we are going to have this party come, you know what, or high water. He tried to say, I don't think this is going to work. This was her opportunity to quietly and graciously thank people for coming, and either her or a trusted friend deliver the news. But not only did she say, I don't care what you say, I'm having my day. She decided to go out there, not in humility and some shame, but with her fist pumped in the air like she won something, until she was crying the next day, taking bows and making a TikTok video for the world to see how happy she was. I think that says a lot about how she handled the situation. I'd love to know what you all think. What do you think, Lucy?
Thank you, Next Level, for that generous contribution. I don't know. I think you missed it. It's I can't read it. Let me see. There you go. Let me drop something. The collection plate at the Holy has a femininity. I can't thank you, ladies, enough. I hope to be here when you both hit 1 million subscribers and 1 million reformed modern women. Oh, that would be that is our dream. Even though when we started this femininity project, somebody said, what you're doing is only a drop in the bucket. But you know what? Many drops fill that bucket in. And thank you, Next Level, for that generous contribution. So getting back to
Yes, absolutely.
To the video, it's a good thing that it seems like the guy is real. But one thing I noticed is that she's a dancer. She likes to perform. She likes to be the center of attention. I think it's all about her. She reminds me of Veruca Salt from the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, where she wanted everything. Yeah, Dad, I want this. I want that. It seems that she's a spoiled child that was spoiled throughout her life. And I don't think that she understands the word no. Now, on the other side, it looks like the guy wasn't that stern, masculine man that should have put how would have said, I'm not going through with this a long time ago, because I bet you he knew a long time ago, before getting to that point, that it was not going to be a good connection, a good relationship, or a good marriage.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see what you all are saying in the chat, and then we'll go back up and read the second part of the article and wrap it up. The Condemned says, to make life-changing decisions while in such an emotional state is irresponsible and reckless. If bad decisions are how she responds when she's emotional, what type of wife would she have been? And ladies, this is so important for you to realize how men think about this. How would you react if there's a financial problem, a health problem, a family problem? Marriage is about the ups and downs together, making it easier for one another, not saying, you know what, well, everybody else can kick rocks. You know, we're gonna celebrate holidays the way I want to do it. We're gonna graduate the way I want to do it. We're going to do, it's all about me. And thank you so much. Yes, Next Level. We appreciate it, though. Emphatically, Empathetic says, in her defense, though, he could have not been a nice person. I understand, however, the article said they were together for 9 years. At some point, ladies, we have to take responsibility for the decisions that we make. If he's not a nice person, then you exit with grace. We don't know if she berated him to get married. We've been together for 9 years. Are you going to marry me or not? This is what we're teaching the women in the wife class. You have to be able to discern if a man is marriage ready on his own before you decide if he could be a husband to you. Is he a husband at all? And I'll just say this is what we teach the ladies in the finishing school. Even if somebody is mean, your words, or, not kind to you, it shouldn't change how you respond. People can be disrespectful, make snarky comments. I mean, you all see it. It's the world that we live in. But I should not react in kind, because then that chips away from my reputation. So I still stand by what I said. If I was left at the altar, the last thing I would do is take a victory lap around town and act like it didn't bother me. I would be broken. To me, this reminds me of the women that have divorce parties. This reminds me of the women that graduate from their marriages and basically say, that man who really contemplated making me his own decided not to go through with it. So thank you for the comment, though. Caucasian says it looked convincing, but yeah, you all saw her crying the next day. And if you watch the rest of the playlist, she's really struggling. I don't know what it is with these women who make TikToks about brushing their teeth, brushing their hair, just like their daily routines. But she has all these TikToks post the day where she's even having a hard time brushing out her wedding hairdo. She's trying to moisturize her face and she just bursts into tears. Like she is literally coming unglued. But now you've put on that face for the world to see. Who are you really? Gillis says, so he actually told her. He tried to let her know before all of this. She didn't have to do it, but she did what she wanted. Now you have zero sympathy for her. Gillis says it's fake news. She wasn't left at the altar. But did you notice that? This, you all. The first video that we saw, she comes to the camera and she says, I'm Rachel Siegel and my fiance just left me at the altar. If what we read is true, before she put on the dress, before she arrived at the venue, before she did all that stuff, she knew that he was not coming and did what she wanted to do anyway. What does that say about her? That wasn't even true. So now you have millions of people feeling sorry that you got left at the altar when he told you, I can't do this, or I don't want to do this. All right, let's see what else you all are saying. Thank you all so much for being here. Dean says they've been together for a long time. Things should have been brought up beforehand. And, their relationship is not my business, but we know that, like I said, men don't go from we're together to we're not together overnight. He's been thinking about this for a while. Jurgen says he was not an alpha male. Lucy brings up a good point. I mean, it says he was a part-time actor. I don't know these people. There's no judgment here. I just want us to take how she reacted as a teachable moment. Next Level says textbook modern woman. Kim K says, I guarantee you she nagged and nagged him to get him to propose. I was wondering about that. You ladies always tell us you can't make a man do what you want him to do. If he doesn't want to get married, then bow out gracefully. And Lucy is agreeing. Yes. Sabine says they were together since they were 25. Maybe she was waiting. Maybe, but again, ladies, if you date with intention, like we teach our ladies, there are certain characteristics that you look for. And this doesn't make him a bad person. But if she's a dancer and he's a part-time actor, he probably already knew he wasn't husband material, and that's fine for him. But what we can't do is try and wrestle them to the ground to make them do what we want them to do. Let's go back to the article, and then I'll come back to you all's comments in the chat. All right. So we saw that the groom got cold feet. Now it's been viewed 40 million times. Now they're talking about who he is. That doesn't matter to me. But notice here, the man has declined to comment. So when the press is putting the microphone in his face, he's quiet. Who are the ones that need all the attention? Who are the ones that can't wait to tell our story to the world? Are you noticing the difference between how men handle disappointment and how we women do? All right. His friend says, I think he realized it was a big commitment. Here's the other thing. Rachel decided the best way forward was not to hide. She even went ahead with the wedding reception at the country club in Michigan She posted a video, not only did it, but posted a video of her first dance with her mother. So again, oblivious to the world, I do not care. I am going to have my day. I'm going to have my party. I'm going to be beautiful. I'm going to ride this trolley around with my wedding gown and a beer. I am going to do what I want to do. I'm going to wear this type of dress with my fiancé. And notice here it says her subsequent TikToks. Sorry, y'all. Her subsequent TikToks have shown her oscillating back and forth between hope and positivity and intense sadness at having to start over. So I'm going to stop there. You all get the story here, but I just thought that the way this landed in my feed, looking at this woman, that I thought, wow, beautiful dress. It was a beautiful dress. But the more you hear about this story, and she's still posting now about, you know, things that are coming her way, but the holidays are coming up. Next year is going to be, we're all going to be another year older, and she's going to have to start over. And I'm hoping for her that she really does some introspection, like, how did I get here? What signs did I miss? Ladies, I'm hoping we can all learn from this mistake. So many things not to do. Listen to your man the first time. Take heed. This is what I just told the ladies in the class, because you don't want to get to the end and be sitting there like a deer in the headlights crying for the world to see because you had the opportunity multiple times and you were too stubborn to take the feedback. What would you say, Lucy?
I also want to say that her behavior is a bit dangerous because the way she set it up was demonizing the man first. And then when people started finding out the truth, then the story makes it changes. So again, I think that this man, you know, I don't think he was as masculine as we're thinking he is. He probably saw that behavior on little things that she did to make this decision, this ultimate decision of not getting involved with her for, you know, a marriage. Heaven knows that once he got married to her, she would ask him for divorce and take him for whatever little money he's got. So again, that kind of behavior on a woman is really scary because again, she led the story with the man was the guilty party without her saying, you know what, it was a bad relationship, it didn't work out, let's move on.
Y'all, Lucy is so smart and sees so many things. I love working with you, Lucy. Did you all realize that? I just looked at her reaction. Lucy picked up on the deception, which speaks to who she is. She started this whole thing as a pity party. She wanted us to believe that she had no idea. You got in this dress, got your hair put up, have your makeup on. The whole time you knew that he was not going to show up, but you wanted to go through it anyway and come make a video for the world to see. And on top of that, I'm the victim. My man left me at the altar. That is a dangerous quality. And ladies, those of you, you have to understand why men are slow to respond. Men are skeptical. Men need to see consistency because women like this exist and give us all a bad name. And my man said, until the good ones start calling out the foolishness, everybody can get it. So if you remember the first video, when I played it the second time, did you notice how all of her girlfriends were, go girl, you look beautiful. And the men were kind of like, I don't know. I'm not getting involved here. I put the link in the description. You all can go back and watch it for yourself and notice the body language. So be very careful, ladies, when you come with your sad stories. Your ex was a narcissist. You didn't have this type of upbringing. Nobody told me. Everybody's picking on me. The men are not falling for it. They're not going to believe it. They're going to wait and collect the data points and then judge you accordingly. So it's so much better, ladies, if you are humble, if you admit, you know what? I pushed too hard. He told me he wasn't ready. I kind of forced his hand and he just, threw his hands up. Wouldn't it have been so much better if maybe they weren't married? Maybe he said, I need a few more years. I mean, at this point, you're 34, lady. Like, really? Wouldn't it have been better if he just said, you know what? I don't want a big production. Can we just do something quiet? I don't really want a lot of attention. Can it just be you and me? But no, this woman wants all eyes on her. And now she's crying for the internet to see. Let's see what you all are saying in the chat. Empathetic says, yeah, we're spoiled. Ladies, we can definitely do a lot better. We absolutely can. And that's why Lucy and I are here. Living Out Loud says, one seed properly planted can produce a great harvest. I love these conversations. They are necessary. Thank you. And we want you all to learn just like we're learning and change your own community. Absolutely. Jürgen says, no sane person would do something like this publicly. Absolutely. Next Level wants his side of the story. But did you notice that he has been silent even when approached by the press? Another difference, ladies. I always tell you, we are not the same. We are not equal. We're equally valued, but we're very different. Look at the response, not only between him and her, but her girlfriends and male friends as wedding guests. Okay, so it's really important, ladies, when I say we are chaotic, when I say we are emotional, if you have a visceral reaction to that and you want to argue somebody down, look at how we behave in this example and see if you can notice yourself. Here comes the condemned. How much did this wedding cost? Exactly. And Next Level says her actions are very telling. We see who she is. And here's the problem, ladies, that I want you to understand. Now, yet another woman has made herself radioactive. Because what good, hardworking man is going to come behind and pick this up and say, you know what, let's go live a quiet life together? Because you have shown that whatever private disagreements or whatever you all have, you're going to run to TikTok for everybody to get the play-by-play of your relationship. What man wants to come home to his business out in the street for everybody to know, instead of his woman just saying, hey, babe, can we talk tonight? Gillis says, Maggie, we didn't get a chance to embarrass Lucy a little. She had a fan that commented, oh, did I miss it? I missed it. What was it? Lucy said, we're good. Okay, let me go through the comments, y'all. She brought this on herself and she needs a reality check. Well, Lucy has said this, life has a way of humbling all of us. And ladies, if you think you're getting away with it, she has this video of that day and those 41 million views. That was her moment. I hope it was good for you, because that was it. And I don't wish anything bad on her, but people are now going to be, that's what you're going to be remembered for, ladies. And I just hate that you're going to the internet to make a timestamp of one moment of your life. That's how you're remembered forever. Kim K says, it's unfortunate that people go to social media for validation instead of healing and figuring out what went wrong. Living Out Loud says she will not do any introspection and she's going to go into the next relationship the same way. Men, beware. Yeah, a lot of people are lonely around the holidays, and I'm not happy to say that. But ladies, if you're not in the relationship that you want, ask yourself, what could you be doing better? The solo wedding. Sabine says she fell into a trap because she shared online for many people to see. If she was going to go on a date with someone else, they can simply find out who she is, and she didn't think it through. See what I mean, ladies, when I say we're short-sighted? This is why we need our men. She's trying to make herself look good. Yeah. Now look at it. You all are all coming for her. Like Lucy is like, I see who you are. Do you see, ladies, how it's even worse when you lie? When the truth comes out, you get the smackdown even worse, as opposed to people gave you the benefit of the doubt and they're like, okay, sorry that happened. But when they find out that you were putting on the whole time, what man is going to sign up for that? Maybe nobody cares. I was invested in this one. Killa says it's fake news and you were sad. All right. Well, I didn't get to all of the comments, but Lucy, I'm going to let you close us out. And I'd love to know what you think about this whole story.
Wow, this is just astonishing how decisions that we make in the spirit of the moment have long lasting repercussions, because again, the internet is forever. And now that when she starts thinking about starting over, that I don't think that she's going to have a start over. I think she's going to be a cat lady, a leftover woman, because of the behavior that she created. It was her own doing. I don't feel bad for her. I'm embarrassed for her for not listening to probably somebody that said, maybe you shouldn't do this. She decided to do it, and there are consequences to that behavior.
I couldn't have said it better. Farron says, I doubt any man will want to marry her after that viral show. So ladies, the takeaway from today, understanding the differences between how men and women get to marriage and what they think about a failed marriage. It is not something to celebrate. It is not something to take a victory lap on. It is a time to be introspective and ask yourself, how did I get here? Because this wasn't a surprise. And now that we know that she was deceptive for clicks and views, you'll do anything for attention, and no man wants that. So I wanted to share this with you all. We will miss you all for the next 2 sessions. Those of you all that are traveling with us on the Maggie Meetup Cruise, we fly out on Wednesday. So we will be in the Bahamas. So Lucy and I will not stream this coming Wednesday or this coming Saturday. So it'll be a week from today. We will be back, but I will clip this up and put this up on my page. We are on all platforms, and you all can watch our podcast, and we'd love to know your thoughts. And we will be back with another episode in a week. Anything else, Lucy?
This was a great reaction video. So sad, because again, she's not the only one behaving that way. And it was just great to see the comment, the engagement, and until a week from Wednesday, I guess.
Absolutely. We will say it. Adios.
Adios.
Thank you, everyone. And sorry for the struggle streaming. We'll see y'all in a week.